everybody. This is Brandon Stuart from EDAW'S, and today I have Gardens of HECATE, which is what I think it sounds like, but HECATE maybe. HECATE, which is good because what I used to whenever I was in Italy, I thought whenever I went to, I think it was Czech Republic, paprika is actually paprika.
Yep.
Paprika. Yeah. Hey, so I am completely missing my entire intro. So we got on this whole topic. We've been talking for a little bit. If you think of what your kid just excreted out of his body, mostly his bottom, and then rubbed against the toilet seat, that's me. I'm that guy. And today I wanted to interview you, Anna, and I think that you're somebody that I aspire to be in a different language of art. I don't want to do the exact same thing that you're doing, but I think that what you do is important. So much to the fact that I mentioned to you before, any time that you share, or the one time that you shared something that I did, and then showed this that this interview was going to happen, like 25 fucking people started following me, which I was like, Jesus Christ, she has influence. I think what you do is a very, like, the molds that you do are insane. Like, I never would have thought anybody watching on video right now, this is a fucking a thing that exists that she created. Most of my shit, honestly, is your stuff, and I use it constantly. And your collaborations with Totally Not Panicking, and your molds. Where did you kind of like start off, like doing this shit? Was it like picking up a 40K and then building it, or?
When I was a kid, I was about 11 years old. I saw a flyer from my local game store that had Warhammer. It was during 6th edition Warhammer Fantasy. And it had a blurb about the game and some pictures of miniatures, and I really liked the Chaos Knights at the time.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of being able to make my own army and then push them around the table was really awesome to me. And I asked my parents to get me some minis, and that's how it started. I got them as a gift, and I got into the hobby with Warhammer.
Were your parents concerned about the the subject matter?
No, they knew me. I was always a weird kid. Always weird and artsy. And my brother and I played a lot of strategy games on the PC. We played PlayStation games. Like we loved Warcraft and Quake 3 and Doom, all kinds of stuff.
Doom,
So this
especially,
this wasn't anything new. And
But,
I was always making stuff, drawing and blah blah blah. So it was nothing unusual.
it was just a building block onto the
Yeah.
the whole deal.
And we played with Legos a lot. So this is very similar. Just you get more freedom.
If you don't mind me asking, how old were you whenever all that took off?
11.
Jesus fucking Christ, Anna. Like, think about this. All right, so I got a laugh out of that. All right, so I was into D&D at 11, right? And I was playing all that shit. I made up all my fucking stories and everything else. But you were already building shit at 11?
I wasn't sculpting full miniatures, but yeah, I started converting with my first kit. Like, oh, I want to cut this off or, rearrange it to get a special character I have in my head. I didn't even know what it was called. I didn't have green stuff yet, so I used air dry clay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane.
I love that you laugh about that.
I mean, you use what you know. Then back then, the internet wasn't so widespread yet, so I
Yeah.
didn't have like all the resources you have nowadays to learn stuff. So I just learned from the rule book, and I found the forums a bit later, and then I started. Then I found the local club, and then I joined a bit later when I was about 15. And then I started actually playing because, like, for a few years I was just collecting minis and painting them at home. I wasn't playing. Actually, I'd never played a game of Warhammer Fantasy in my life, and I made
Yeah,
a few armies.
yeah, you made a few armies
Yeah.
and not played. I understand that because, like we discussed, I have made a Forbidden Psalm, little warband, and then for Grimtex happening at the end of this month, I've made a Mordheim, little warband. But yeah, I've never, to be honest with you, like I've never had any interest specifically in 40K, but I understand why people do.
Yeah, same with me.
What was the moment that you were getting into like molds?
In sculpting, well, it evolved gradually because when I was converting stuff, then I like bits. Some bits were rare and expensive to get because I would have to get them from a bit store and blah blah blah. It's expensive to get here.
Yeah.
So, okay, maybe I can try sculpting that so I don't have to spend the money. And then also I got more ambitious with my conversions so I could do reposing. And I started sculpting more and more and more. And then I said, oh, okay, well, let's sculpt the miniature. And then I did that and I saw, okay, I can do that. And then I started sculpting. And very soon, like after a few sculpts, I got contacted by a guy from Canada. Harwood Hobbies was the company, and he said like, I wanna commission a range of minis from you, so we put them on Kickstarter. And I think 2019 that happened. Some of my first minis were already produced into a product.
Was there anybody that kind of like drove you to start sculpting, or were you already into that?
It wasn't a particular person who said you must sculpt. I mean, no,
Oh yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah.
it just it just happened. I sculpted more and more parts of mini, and then like I think my first full sculpt was when Wilhelm Miniatures had a competition to make a great and clean one. That was the theme.
Yeah.
And you could draw it, sculpt it, just paint a great and clean one. And, I'm kind of online friends with him, so I wanted to, uh, contribute to the whole thing. But I didn't want to spend insane money to buy a great and clean one. So I just decided to sculpt a tiny great and clean one. And I did that, and I won first place. So
Really?
that's yeah. It's when you get positive feedback, it just drives you to do it more.
I think that's what drives all of us in this hobby. Whenever a lot of people like get into this hobby, I feel like we're all comedians essentially. We're all in that comedian mindset where we want, as bad as it sounds, we want a little bit of attention.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
that serotonin boost is like so much. It means a lot for a lot of people. And I've talked to a lot of people that are going through like substance abuse issues, or in recovery or whatnot in this hobby, that I think it helps them a lot. I just think we're just all a bunch of fucking comedians, sitting around in a room and trying to do the same thing worldwide. I will say that one thing in particular that stuck out to me is your work in Doomed. Doomed is a skirmish game, correct me if I'm wrong, that was published a couple years ago.
Yeah, this year.
Holy shit. It was
Yep,
this year?
yep.
It shows you how much my producer sucks at his job. My producer is me. I'm all about collaboration. and I really want the level of collaboration that you have, but it's insane to me that you are all of the artwork photographed. And do you take your own pictures of those?
Yeah, I take pictures and edit them. Yeah. That
All right.
also evolved
So
over time. I picked up new tricks as I went along.
yeah. So you're a photographer, Anna.
Yes.
You're a sculptor.
Yeah.
You're a painter. What the fuck else are you? Like you have merchandise now.
Yeah.
You're a businesswoman. I mean,
Well, it is my job. I'm a full-time miniaturist.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Since
Yeah,
2020.
so living in Italy, I knew that Americans only ask like, what is your job? What do you do? So I never ask it anymore. Like I never ask it because my job, I love my job to a certain degree. I'm a paralegal that can help out victims, but you are doing what I want to do for a living. That's fucking awesome, Anna. That's amazing.
I'm living my best life. I'm not
That's,
rich or anything, but I can sustain myself, and I'm very happy doing what I do.
so there has to be a series of events that break down into you building up your empire, which I consider an empire. What was the cusp of like you building up what you want to do in your life and like sustaining it?
Well, I actually I tried to study to get a normal job, but then after that, I just realized that I can't do that, and this is what I need to do. So I tried, and it was a success. But before I said, yeah, I'm gonna start a business now, I did blogging and mingling in the community for years. I started my blog in 2012, and I turned this into a business in 2020. So it took a while for me to get recognition and eyes on what I'm doing. And during that time, I was failing as a student. So yeah,
Generally, us artists do fail as students. I I went to community college for art, and I was very much this stereotypical teenager getting out of high school, moving in with friends, and I was like, I have freedom. That noise especially is what I did all the time. But I I went and got high, I got drunk, and I remember like I missed a lot of my classes, but there was a specific teacher that was there at the college in St. Louis that I went to that she was like, yeah, you missed most of my classes, but your artwork is this. So I'm not going to fail you. I'm going to give you a B. And I maybe showed up to like two of her classes, but because we had such a relationship in those two classes, she knew that I was striving for something, but I was going through another bullshit thing. So you went to school for art or for like
for cultural anthropology and English, and I have a
English?
bachelor's degree.
Well, I mean, so you went to school for a failing language, is what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, it's garbage. It's dog shit. The idea of Halloween, does that resonate with you?
It's not a thing we originally had. Croatia is a Catholic country. Halloween is not really a thing in Catholicism. Like around the time of Halloween, we have our own thing, which is a much more solemn. You visit the graves of your deceased relatives and loved ones, and you leave candles and flowers, and then you have a dinner with your family. So that's what we do around Halloween. But since globalization and all that, we have Halloween crap in shops, and we have Halloween parties in bars and clubs and whatever. But it's not our cultural thing. You know,
In
it's
the
important, but
discoteca?
everyone. This I actually like it because I can buy Halloween crap in shops, which is good for kid bashing.
Yeah, it is. Like, we have a place here in the States called Spirit Halloween, and I bought several different things from them for eventually I'll get back into landscapes or boards, but it's gonna be a while.
And when it comes to like trick or treating and that sort of thing that you have around Halloween, we have a similar thing in February where kids dress up and go around the neighborhood and collect gifts. So we have that. We don't need another one of that for Halloween. It's like a day of partying and excess before like the Ash Wednesday, and then the whole period before Easter starts where you have to like not indulge in stuff and blah blah blah. It's a Catholic thing, and a lot of my folk horror designs are based on costumes, traditional costumes from that period, like the Bellman.
Which is so like the Bellman reminds me of whenever I went to Germany in like around Christmas.
Krampus and Perkin. Yeah, they have that around Christmas.
Yeah, it reminds me wholly of Krampus, and
we actually have Krampus. It came to us from Austria because Croatia was under Austrian rule for hundreds of years. So Krampus became part of our tradition. So on the 5th of December, it's Saint Nicholas Day, and Saint Nicholas comes to children and brings them gifts, and Krampus brings them coal if they're bad children, and birch rods to punish them.
my wife was whipped by those.
Yeah.
Did you say birch rods?
Rods.
Birch rods. Sorry.
And if you're particularly bad, then Krampus takes you away.
Yeah, he stuffs you in a fucking sack.
Yeah.
And pulls you away. Agreed. Do you mind if I ask what you're drinking right now?
Dark beer. It's Kozel. It's a Czech beer.
I'm currently in Texas. Anybody that's watching from Texas having a ranch water at 11 in the morning.
It's
Great.
Ranch water. It's a beer brand.
It's a lime seltzer.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of, well, I don't know. Fucking people in Texas. I think that's the reason why. Whenever Halloween takes place, it's like the most exciting time for me, like on the planet. It's my favorite holiday, and only because I remember, like at least here in America, that's whenever we make, do you know what chili is?
Yeah, I know what chili is.
Well, I'm not trying to be a fucking asshole. I just don't know if you know what American chili is.
No, it's okay. But I know what it is. I watch American movies.
Oh, fair. So it's a chili time. Everybody brings their chili, and then all the kids go out and they fucking do their own thing. And the parents steal all their candy. Is there like a standard meal during that time, or no?
Well, in my family, we eat on that family gathering for November 1st. We eat the roast duck, but I don't know if it's a general thing in Croatia. I'm not sure if we have a special meal for that day. It's just in my family.
Not October 31st?
Yeah.
Because that's whenever we do our shit, Anna. We just, October 31st hits, and we're like, fuck everything else. We're doing this shit. We're dressing up like a bunch of assholes, and we're going to walk around and steal candy from people.
I don't like the trick part of it where people's houses get egged or TP'd. I think I'd be pissed if someone did that to me.
I have to be honest. Most of the time, that does not happen.
I'm glad the movies are lying.
Yeah, it's mostly movies. Like, if you do that during Halloween, I think you're an asshole too. I think you're kind of a prick. What are your influences, Anna? No. What do you listen to, dude? Because, to be honest, I think a lot of people are motivated by what they listen to, at least me, excuse me, and what they watch. So what is the thing that you listen to right now?
I listen to a lot of metal, rock, like classic top hits from the 80s, 70s, 90s, whatever. Past few years, I got into listening to dungeon synth and synthwave a lot. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
So metal, what do you listen to on that front?
It's nothing wild, like Metallica, Iron Maiden, Dio. I mean,
okay.
Just vanilla stuff.
That's not vanilla. That's fucking where our roots came from. I went to
That's the first metal bands I started listening to were Metallica and Iron Maiden. I think they're the most famous metal band.
Yeah, for sure. I want to go back a little bit. You were talking about Catholicism being a big part of Croatia. Is that a big part of your life, or?
Not really. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I'm not religious. I was brought up Catholic, but I stopped believing in my teenage years. I'm not religious anymore. I disagree with a lot of crap in there.
Yeah,
But Catholicism is very metal. Like I don't
it
know
is.
those people who go to church and they sit there and they listen to what is said. I don't know if you probably never listened through a Catholic mass, but
I have. Yeah.
you have. You have. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, are those people even listening? They're just nodding there. It's some
Are you?
it's some. It's metal.
Anna, you're describing. So whenever last night I talked to Bill and he was telling me that you're a very serious woman. I told him that I would make you laugh, and he said that I would not do that. Most likely I would not do that. But are you saying that Catholicism is a cult?
No. Okay, cult is a word that has many definitions. I don't think
Yeah,
it, from what I see cults are, I don't think it's a cult.
fair
It's
enough.
a religion, but it's messed up. Like there's good stuff in there, but on the whole, it's messed up, especially if you're a woman.
You just literally, Anna, described a cult. But I'm joking. It's religion has a place in the world, and I appreciate that fact. I just don't see personally where it ties into myself. Like I just, it's whatever. I want to get into your set pieces, like the idea behind those. Like I put a mini on a base, I base it, whatever, I paint it, and then I just publish it. You go a whole different fucking route, which is insane to me. Uh, you create an entire floor for those minis to be on. It's very atmospheric. I just, wow. Like how much work goes into that fucking bullshit? Because
Uh,
I know it's your job now, but like looking at the Grob stuff, like I don't even know what I'm looking at because it's intense.
Looking at a different world. That's what I'm trying to make. Like, atmosphere is the most important thing for me when I'm creating stuff. And that's why I take so much time to make a world around that little character. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well,
they're little windows into some kind of world, mysterious. I don't want to, like, define it too much. I think in a lot of media, the world building is overdone. Like when I look at 40K, there's just an overwhelming amount of lore, and I don't even want to engage with it. I think the more you know about it, the less mysterious and cool it is, and the less space you have to express yourself in it. Like, I mean, that's how it is for me. Maybe other people would disagree. Um, but yeah, I like to, like, when I'm world building, like, this is the picture. You you're watching that, and you can imagine what the world around it is. Like, I like to make small windows into a world, and let other people, you know, get inspired by it, maybe. And
I get that because the comment about the 40K like lore, I hear that, and honestly, for me, the problem with 40K is, and I'm gonna piss off people.
just one problem.
What's that? Yeah, there's so
Just
many.
one.
I think it's just like that. Man, I'm gonna piss off people. I'm probably gonna lose followers. I think the thing for me with 40K is it's that very 10-year-old boy aspect of things, like big guns, big bodies. We do all this shit. We kill people. And I think it's like kind of lost on me because I want more of a story involved in that. And then like we get into bits, it they're like they're they're a great building block, but I mean they're kind of I don't know. Like 40K to me is just an easy way to start gaming.
Definitely, it's an entry drug. Uh, and that's good. Like, like, I got into the hobby through Warhammer, because the games I play now, uh, people aren't likely to hear about them if they're not already in it. So, I mean, I think that's a good thing about 40K, that it's so famous and widespread, whatever. Um, but
Yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely a gateway drug.
yeah, yeah, that's the word I want. So, but there's too many people who care about it way too much.
And I don't take you as a competition person whatsoever.
Not really.
Not
I'm not.
really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know now. I'm starting to think that you're extremely competitive. Whenever you play in your local game store, are you hard wrenched to beat somebody?
I don't play at my local game store.
Mm. I thought you
I
said that you did before.
For a while I played Malifaux, but we had a small community that was really relaxed, and it's a really good rule system. But I got tired of it. There were people in there who were competitive as well.
So
I'm not a competitive player. I'm a narrative player, and I
me too.
don't want to play with people who annoy me. So basically, when I play, I invite people to my home, and I play who I want, when I want, and on
Yeah,
my terrain. Or
that
I
sounds
organize
like
an event, and then also I get people who are on the same wavelength, and approach the hobby the same way. That's the way to
Anna.
do it. Why?
You're starting to sound like a dictator. All right, so for
Yeah,
the rest of the
elitist, elitist. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I got a smile in there before you drank your beer. I'm just noting these things because I'm taking count so that I can rub this back in Bill's face that I actually got you to smile
you're
or laugh or
keeping
whatever.
score.
Is there ever a moment in time that there was a movie that kind of touched you, that kind of influences the way that you go about things?
Yes.
Is there ever like a thing?
It was actually early when I was a kid. I saw Princess Mononoke from Studio
Yeah.
Ghibli. Miyazaki's films in general are very inspirational to me, because the attention to detail, the animation, it looks amazing. It really inspires me. And the Princess Mononoke is a really cool movie. There's a forest and there's demons and forest spirit. You can see all that coming in. You can see the influence in the stuff I make even today.
I definitely do see that influence. I think you have a very, people would say grim. I think that's overused. A very gritty, nasty version of that. Not. I take that back.
I think it's already gritty and nasty a lot. Like there's
You think
people's limbs getting
Studio
chopped
Ghibli
off.
does dirty and nasty?
Not in every movie, but in Mononoke, there's some really violent stuff, and the demonic boar and all that. It's
True.
really really cool. It gave me nightmares when I was a kid. I dreamt that I was being chased by a deer, shouting at me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I see that now that you bring that up. What was scaring me back whenever I was a kid was my cousin talking to me about the Leprechaun. Do you remember the Leprechaun
The
movies?
movie. Yes.
Yeah. It
Well,
was
yeah,
fucking terrifying. There's this
yeah.
little fucking all right. No, I think that's great, man. Like I just maybe it's from the outside looking in, but I take your stuff that I look at and I can't quite, and this is a compliment to you, I can't quite correlate it to anything else. Like, your settings are like in the preview that I sent out with the snail body, like that to me bothered me so much.
Okay, I can't take credit for that sculpt because that was Wilco Miniatures. The sculpt is by him. I just converted the face a little bit. But yeah, that snail
Then you
leaves an
can't take
impression.
credit for it.
Yeah, I can. Well,
It's fucking insane, Anna. Like the Grob fucking build that I showed earlier. Like where did that come from?
the main inspiration for that one was a toy. The Robo Skull
Yeah,
from Action Man, something like that. Action Force. It's from the 80s. It was before my time, but it's like a flying thing. I didn't copy it, but I liked it and I wanted to do something similar. The whole Grob setting, it's inspired by toys
mm-hmm.
and sci-fi artwork from the 70s. The old sci-fi novels and stuff, like really awesome covers and very atmospheric. Um, and also Beksinski. It's a Polish artist. I'm not from Poland. It's
She's not from Poland, everybody. Like, get it straight. Don't be like an asshole like me and go, hey Anna, we're a week out. Are you from Poland? Because I'm an American that doesn't know anything and should be cultured because I lived in Italy, but I'm not. Yeah,
anyway.
don't call it fucking Polish.
Yes, please. Now everyone's gonna call me Polish. Even more.
So was there a, you said movie wise, is there anything like lately that's kind of like caught your eye?
Lately,
Come
sure.
on, Anna. You got this.
The Green Knight, but that was I think last year or the year before
The
that.
green light?
Yeah, you know
Oh
about
my
that?
god. I'm gonna fucking add it right now.
It's an artsy, horror-ish movie based on Arthurian legend. Yeah, it's pretty cool and weird.
So, all right. So the green light, and the first thing that I find
Night,
is
night.
a bunch of porn on my site.
N-
So it may be a horror thing. pornographically. But all right, so yeah, I'll look that up. You may have to send it in Polish, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. You're gonna fucking hate me after this. All right, so my looking and I want to point this out before we get to the kindness corner, but the Grob set, not the Grob minis, because the Grob minis are amazing. What did you do with that? Like the whole Mars like atmosphere.
Oh yeah, okay. So I have a bunch of cork that I painted to look like rocks, and I have a bunch of loose sand, and then I set that up. Whenever I shoot, I set it up, fresh, basically, so I can make the composition however I like. I can change it and then shoot a million photos and then pick out the ones I like, and then I
Yeah.
put it away. And there's sand all over my living room. I don't
Yeah.
like sand, it's rock and quartz.
So now we're getting into kindness corner, which I picture a white rhino running a steamroller over a poacher. And he can do that now.
So what? I have to react.
No, you, you
I mean,
don't have to you
you're
don't have to
asking me
react
what I want to do.
whatsoever. No, he's gonna put this up in post production. It's good. Actually, this makes it better that you said that. Is there a moment in time recently, whether it's people sending you things or people complimenting you or people doing something for you that really stood out to you?
But there's a lot of people in my life that I'm grateful to for being there and treating me like a human being. Yeah, like in my personal life and online, there's like seriously, I don't know any
Okay, you're
specific
gonna be
moment
a real. You're gonna be a real, totally not panicking right now. No, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, for me, honestly, I tell a lot of people this, and it's not that big of a deal. My dad killed himself back 3 years ago, and like I joke about it, laugh about it, whatever. Um, but I think that there's been EDAW'S End is based off of his name and his end, and I think getting all of this appreciation for what I do is like a very nice thing to look at. So I understand what you're saying, but I feel like somebody's probably done something for you.
I can go further back. I can go when I was starting my business. Is that too far or?
There you go. Oh yeah.
Okay, so it was a couple years ago, and my mom believed in me and supported me in getting into it because it was really, we didn't know if it was gonna work or not. Let's say monetarily, like uh, she I needed money to get started,
Yeah.
and she could have easily said no. You've been failing as a student. Uh, what do you expect now? So um, and some of my other family members were not as supportive. So
Yeah.
definitely,
And
thanks, mom.
that's very nice. I'm not trying to get too personal. I think that I like to appreciate the inner workings of what other people have done for me and not just take those at a second glance. What is, for the last question, what is your favorite cocktail?
I don't know. I don't drink cocktails. Oh, okay.
Oh my god, no
Does gin
cocktails?
and tonic? Does gin and tonic count as a cocktail?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Then it's that.
So you're mostly a beer
I'm
woman?
mostly a beer woman. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it happens in Europe because beer is very much the forefront. You have to. Have you been to the States?
No, not yet.
Yeah. All right. So if I get a new assignment to Europe, we're gonna hook up, and I'll buy you your first American cocktail.
Okay.
Deal?
Sure.
No?
We'll meet up.
All right.
Yeah. You buy me a cocktail, I'll buy you a beer. A proper European beer.
A proper beer. Do you want to like plug anything? What are you doing like in the future? Do you have anything coming up?
Well, next year I'm gonna do another Forbidden Psalm event. Probably again in the summer. I'll be releasing more miniatures with Andrew May, Meridian Miniatures. Like next year, possibly several times. The Grobniks are moving to Ramshackle Games, and I'll be adding more to that. I'll be adding the Raiders. I'll be doing another bunch of bits for Smash Bash. So yeah, I'll be sculpting a lot.
One last time for our viewers, can you pronounce your shop?
Gardens of Hecate.
Hecate. Anna, it's been awesome, dude. Like, I appreciate the fact that you took this time to talk to me and settle down. And I think next weekend I'm talking to a gentleman from England.
Mm-hmm.
Earth,
I don't know.
think.
I don't know. He'll tell us, I guess. The
Oh,
whole thing, right?
Yeah. Like, what is the?
Barrett the whole thing.
Yeah. So
I'm probably butchering it.
I'm talking to Lawrence.
Mm.
Do you know who Lawrence is?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm talking to him next month, and it'll be at the end of the month. I really appreciate you, Anna. Like, whenever you shared one of my pictures on one of my minis, that was like, it's like Taylor Swift like added somebody. Like it felt really good. Like you're very sweet, you're very kind, and to meet you in person is like a joy. So I really appreciate like the fact that you have taken the time to acknowledge other people, and especially me, because I only care about myself. No, I don't. But thank you so much, and you're amazing, and continue to do the shit that you do, even without my push.
Thank you for having me. And of course, I share other people's stuff because I got the same kindness from people when I was starting out. So I think it makes sense to, pass it along,
Especially in this hobby. Well, this is the end of Nodnarb's Closet. I appreciate anybody that was watching along. And Anna, we're going to talk after. I'm not going to act like we're not. But you're amazing, and we will see you guys on the other side of the bloodshed.
This is Barrett from the ATI Podcast. Each week, Josh and I discuss current events, pop culture, music, TV, movies, politics, sports. Nothing is out of bounds. You can also tune in to learn about rising artists, small businesses. Whether it's music, graphic design, filmmaking, or even a brick-and-mortar mom-and-pop shop, we will be spotlighting folks and their endeavors. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Anchor, or anywhere you enjoy your podcasts. Just search ATI Podcast. We would like to thank you for your continued support, and as always, please stay safe out there.
Hey, this is Josh from ATI Podcast. For show updates and news about the podcast, follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ATI Podcast 22, on Twitter at podcast_ATI, on Instagram at the ATI Podcast, on TikTok at ATI Podcast. DMs are always welcome. Have a question for the show? You can always email us at atipodcastquestions@gmail.com. Stay safe out there.